Um, today is the celebration of life for my grandfather. And so I got up early this morning, charging the speaker. We need that for music. And I'm putting together just a couple scriptures and a prayer, and then writing my little piece about, memories of him. And I was like, I'm not gonna get emotional, it's fine. And then I'm sitting here bawling. Man, I just miss him. I think you think because, or at least my naive thought was like, because it was more so his time, it would be easier, with death. But it doesn't make it easy. It doesn't matter how much time you get with a person, whether it's they leave at 100 or they leave at, young. You always feel like you want more time with them. So I don't know. We're going to try to get through this today. I didn't think I was going to cry, but I'm already bawling. But I'm just kind of sharing about how good of a man he was and how much he stepped up in my life and all the things he did for me. He did so much for me and so much for my mom. Just such a good man. So that's a little later today. The kids and I are going to start getting dressed soon. We're going to head out there a little bit early to help prep a little bit, greet people as they come in. And then the service should be around 2 o'clock to, I don't know, we'll see. After eating and everything, maybe like 4 or 5, but we'll see. But
for our fallen shipmate, Sailor Edward Reed. We will play taps for him. During the playing of taps, I would ask that only if you can, to please stand and place your right hand over your heart. If there's any former or current military, you may render your final hand salute. And at the conclusion of taps, we will present the national ensign, the American flag, to Karen. With that, we will begin. Please rise.
only honor to my dad, but honor to the Lord, because my dad did believe in the Lord. And the Lord has given and the Lord has taken away. Blessed be the name of the Lord. So, you know, the Los Angeles Fire Department had a big part in his life.
Is that I always felt like my dad was there for me, no matter what, ups and downs, ins and outs. I never questioned when he was on my side or not, and that's huge. So, besides being there for my sports, he was also there for any kind of school event or life event. Another really big one was being there for Kyle when he needed a father figure. My dad stepped in. He took that on, and he was a really, really good father figure for Kyle. He was there for everyone.
If I really were to think about it in terms of people who impacted my life and influenced my life for the Lord, it would be my dad. You know, he sent us to private Christian school.
Wow. Ed and I have been playing golf for the last 31 years. Our last game was a year ago, February. And of course, you can see we're giving up our health and everything else.
So now I'll speak a few minutes here to Ed's career in the fire department. Ed was appointed to the Los Angeles City Fire Department November 3rd, 1963. I'm going to speak to a couple of stations, and they're just numbers. You guys may or may not be familiar with them. I know like Vince, Jim, Gail, you all will be also. But when when Ed finished his probation, he went to Fire Station 3. And I mean, everything I said about your father, about your grandfather as well, Kyle, thank you so much. He was very instrumental in my career, in my life as a firefighter, and also being a guiding light to offer up his, his suggestion in anything else. I can't think of the word, I'm sorry, but he was a great resource.
All right, so it's the day after my grandfather's celebration of life, and it was a beautiful day. It ended up being perfect. My mom and my uncle, so her brother, planned the whole thing, so they did all of it. I helped my mom with like putting some pictures in frames a while back. I brought music that we didn't even play. I made a playlist for him of all of his 80s alternative music that he loved, but we didn't even play it because there were a lot of people there that struggled with hearing, and I didn't want to like play music over them while they're trying to talk and share memories and stuff, so we left it off. I'm wearing a, what is this called, a practice ring. There's this ring that they sell, it's called the Aura ring, and it can track like your sleeping habits, your heart rate, things like that. And I was interested in getting one. This is what you wear before, so you determine what size you want and what finger you want it on. So it's not replacing my wedding ring. I just am practicing with it. Anyway, so back to the service. So my mom did everything. She ordered the caterer, which was beautiful. They did an amazing job. We had, the Navy was there, so 3 representatives from the Navy. I don't know if you call them that. I don't want to speak incorrectly, but 3 sailors were there, is what they kept referring to themselves as, and that he was a fallen sailor, because he did serve in the United States Navy back in, I want to say it was the 50s. That was beautiful. They did a flag folding ceremony, presented the flag to my mom, and they the trumpet player played, I don't know the name of the song, but it's famous, when a fallen soldier, anyway, I have no knowledge on military and ceremonial things like that, so I don't want to speak incorrectly, but it was beautiful. Then they left. We had a bagpipe player. I don't know if he was a part of the Navy or if he was a part of the fire department or if they asked for him to be there. I don't know. It was beautiful. He played Amazing Grace and a couple other things, and very ceremonial, very nice. And then we had a man there from the Firemen's Association, and he knew my grandfather, and he spoke on his career as a fireman. And then they rang the final fireman's bell, something they do for a fallen fireman. And then my mom spoke, my uncle spoke, I spoke and closed out in prayer, and a few of my grandpa's friends got up and spoke, and it was beautiful. For some reason, I didn't think I was going to be as emotional. I think I said that when I was filming yesterday. And then when I was writing the speech, I was like, okay, I'm going to be very emotional. And then when I got in front of everybody, I just broke down. And since I don't have the speech in front of me, I'll share with you like a summary if you're interested. But basically, I shared that my grandfather, in my head, I break him up into 3 sections. The first section I told everybody was, I thought I was going to do life without a father. You know, I never had a father in my life, but I did. My grandfather was an amazing father figure in my life. He was at every baseball game, every football game, every performance, anything. He was there with my grandma. Always an amazing support. After every game, he'd give me my tips and pointers and things I need to work on and things I did so well. He was my biggest cheerleader, my biggest advocate. You know, he was just an amazing figure in my life and had the hard conversations with me that a dad has with a son. Uncomfortable conversations, things like that. But I shared that, and then I shared section 2, which was all about my early dating and marriage with Jen, and then becoming a parent. And I shared with them that I told them I was dating a girl and I was feeling very serious, and I think I want to, you know, get to know her more, and this could be a girl that I marry. And he's like, slow down. And then I brought Jenny to meet my grandparents, and he quickly changed his mind the next day. Locked that girl up, put a ring on it. He really wanted me to marry her. She was so perfect. I spoke about that. Spoke about him being a great grandfather, and how amazing he was, and he loved my kids. And then finally, section 3 was broken up into 2 men who have lost their wives connecting in a way they didn't want to connect. And although him and I were at way different parts of our life when we lost our spouse, it doesn't make it any easier. He lost the love of his life, I lost the love of my life, and we would connect on that. We'd talk about that. We'd go to the movies, we'd go get dinner, and we would just talk about how it's lonely, it's hard, it's sad. I just shared that with everybody, and I shared, what a beautiful man he was. The most selfless person. Like Jenny is selfless, so is he. Both very selfless people. Always want to help others before themselves. He bought me my first cars. He paid for my college. He paid for Jenny's insurance for a while when it was really expensive when we switched. He has just always been so generous, and it was just a beautiful, beautiful day to be able to share about him and hearing all the stories from everybody. The pattern was very real. He was an amazing man. Then we ate. My best friends came because they all knew my grandfather. They all, they were all on my baseball and football teams growing up, so they heard Gramps. They knew Gramps. I'd bring my friends over. They met Graham and Gramps. They went out to dinner with Graham and Gramps a few times, so my friends knew him very well, and they were all there, which was really nice for me. And then my kids left early. They were just not that they were sad or emotional. It was just it was all older people and then 2 little kids, So Ashley offered to take them while I conversed with everybody. So kids left, and then I stayed with my friends, and then my friends and I got a bite to eat afterwards and just talked and just relaxed and shared some memories. It was nice. It was a beautiful day. Couldn't have asked for a more perfect celebration of life for him. Now we're into a new week. We're going to go to church in a few hours here. It's Sunday. We usually go Sunday night. So we'll go do that. And then we have to go to the grocery store. And even though it's summer, we still got to do the normal things. I've been organizing the garage. that's just been on my list, and I have to make room in there. So I've been doing that today. Sold a couple things on Facebook Marketplace to kind of clear out the place, and somebody came and picked up a couple items already. Great. So I don't know, we'll see what this week holds. Tomorrow, Winnie has a birthday party she's going to, and Ellis is going to go with Gammy and Pops. I know we're going to go to Disney a couple times this week. I know we want to do a small little camping trip this week somewhere. And then the big thing is Jenny's birthday is coming up this week. So Jenny's birthday is June 6th. So hers is on Friday. The kids and I already sat around and talked about what we want to do. And we came up with a really good plan. I love it. And to give you a hint, before I said anything, Ellis said, well, what's Mommy's favorite restaurant? I said, oh, I know which one that is. Okay, we'll go there. And then I said, do you want to do A, B as well? Items A and B for Mom? Do you think Mom would enjoy that? And he said, yeah, I really do. So we have a fun day planned for Mommy's birthday at the end of this week. You'll see that. But until next video, which will probably be tomorrow or the next day, love you guys. Thanks for supporting, and see you soon.